Hi everybody and a big welcome to cEDH TV gameplay. This time me and Pontus are joined by Hening
Hey,
and Rhetoric.
What's up, dudes?
Jhoira ageless innovator. This is a really cheap commander that can trick really expensive artifacts into play, which means that you can play a lot of these really gimmicky, casual artifacts that you normally can't play inside cEDH because they are just too expensive, but they actually have some really powerful effects. So that's what I'm gonna try out at the very least. It's a very easy, artifacty, stormy deck of sorts.
so our local judge, Jonathan, wanted me to play Gitrog on the channel, and as I need him to work free for our next event, I am playing it on the channel. This is just the top performing Gitrog deck on EDH Top 16, so I'm gonna play some Gitrog.
All right, fellas, you probably know by now, I am obsessed with the Lord of the Rings set. I love the commanders in this. Last time I played Electric Wizard, which is Gandalf the Grey, I felt like I controlled a big part of the game and couldn't close it out, kind of in Gandalf fashion, going down at the end with Balrog. So I'm going to try again, and this time I think I got a better sense of how it works.
Today I'm going to play sisay. I couldn't leave the chance to play sisay against Mons, so I'm jamming it. Thanks to Mimo, we did a few swaps, but relying on the old Nicole Bolas Aminatu and Oath to Fairy line, sometimes there's a Mayhem Devil too.
All right, friends, let's look at our first 7 and see what we got here. Okay, Mox Opal, Mana Crypts, and no other really good things. I mean, we got 1 land, 2 lands. This isn't really a turn 1 or anything close to it. Gandalf is 5, and we've got really no other gas except Mana Crypt. This could be a kind of a trap to actually play Mana Crypt and hope to get something from Mox Opal. So we are going to go to our second 7. Jewel Lotus, Polluted Delta, and Mana Conflict. So we get a turn 2 Gandalf, which would be kind of nice. We've got like a little bit of gas from Swan Song to kind of hold us back, or to stop people, I should say. Now, but ISO Rev is pretty good here. So this one I might keep because I could also get out Displacer Kitten. Escron Scepter is a bit of a dead card in our hand right now, so I'm a bit worried about that. But I could imprint Swan Song if I'm needing to do something later on. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and maul, actually, as I think about it. These two are interesting, but really not that much, except just a little bit of interaction. So let's go to 6. Okay, so this, we've got Ristic Study and 1. So we get Soul Ring. We are the first player in turn order, so I think we can actually keep this one because I've got at least, could probably pitch this Mox Opal, keep this one for additional interaction. Muddled Mixture is good for us later on to go fetch up something else we need. So let's go ahead and pitch Mox Opal for now, and then we'll keep this 6. All right, and go ahead, Pontus.
Let's draw a starting 7. So this hand has 0 acceleration, but if we had some acceleration, this is actually pretty good. Life from the Loam plus Putrid Imp is a really strong engine in this deck. But as we don't have a way to get to Gitrog really, like we can do turn 2 survival, pitching Daughter to find mana, that doesn't sound good. Yeah, I'll just pitch this. We always keep this, right? So once again, we don't have the strongest hand, but we do have a turn 1 Oppo. We have the Putrid Imp for later. We have a Ramonatic Excavator if we manage to get there. We don't have any fetches, which is a bit sus, and probably relying on hitting a fetch with Oppo. But I think this is good enough. I think the Nas is kind of trappy. I think I'm keeping this solely off the fact I have Oppo into Nas later, which I think isn't correct. But I like it, so I'll keep it. Hopefully I draw a couple of lands. If I don't, it's gonna be a bit awkward. Go ahead, Mons.
So we have a turn 1 Ragavan and a Mirror Spy. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may untap target creature. And that could really get going with our commander. We don't have that much else going though. But I do like the Ragavan. We have a second land too, so we would have theoretical 4 mana on turn 2. No, what am I saying? 3 mana turn 2. And maybe we get like good Ragavan hits. Now you shouldn't normally keep a hand just because it has a Ragavan in it and that's it. But we have some, like, I kind of want to keep Miriam Spy too. But in the end, I don't see like how this hand is like going forward. It's gonna do something in the early game, but then it doesn't really develop something. So I'm actually gonna mulligan and go to second 7. We have some mana, we have some low CMC artifacts that we can put down early in the game with our commander, and then we have a way to untap and draw an extra card. Like, we have a bunch of card draw here, so I think this hand could develop. We also have Miriam Spy, so once again we are developing forward kind of aggressively here with this hand. Sadly no Ragavan, but we are doing something with this hand. We have a game plan of sorts, so I think I'm actually gonna keep, because this is containing a few card draw.
Kind of a copium hand, because you have a lot of access to a lot of mana. You can deal with things like a turn 1 Mystic Remora with your Mental Misstep and Dismember, and you could run out a Deafening Silence, but basically it's getting us nowhere near Dockside. So I'm taking second 7. Kind of nice due to the Gemstone Caverns. Also playing Lavinia. We could also play Lavinia turn 1. Nah, it's not nice. Let's go to 6. Yeah, perfect. Not punished at all, no lander, we can't keep bad as well. We don't want to have Aminato in our hand. Sure, we could use the Force of Will there. Can't even deploy a Loto, an early Loto, so I have to go into 4. Perfect. This one we basically have to keep. Can play the Gemstone Caverns. We have to pitch 3 cards. Probably the Orange Chant.
Draw a card for turn. Flooded Strand. Tap it, pay a life. Volcanic Island. Tap the Volcanic Island for a Soaring.
Landward Wastes. Land for turn. Cast a Mana Crypt. Pass my turn.
Draw a card. Island? I'm gonna pass my turn.
Draw for turn. Yeah, well, I should have actually kept the Lotus Petal, not the Gemstone Caverns, because I couldn't pitch another card. So with my first mistake in this game, let's see how it goes further. Marsh Flats and pass the turn.
Draw a card, tap these 2 for a Ristic Study.
Take a damage to cast my Op Agent.
I would like to fetch in response of the opposite.
Yeah, opposition agent resolves. Ristic Study resolves. No other effects. I'll pass turn.
Go to my turn. Upkeep, Crypto Trigger. Odds is damage. I rolled a 3. I take 3. I will draw for turn. Land for turn will be a forest. Tap forest. Cast a Deathrite Shaman, paying for a stick. Take damage. Cast a Putrid Imp, paying for a stick with my floating for my crypt. I will swing 3 at Rhetoric, and then I pass the turn.
Draw a card. City of Brass. Damage to cast my commander jhoira, ageless innovator, and pass the turn. And Ristic Study can draw cards.
Mana Confluence, not paying for Ristic, and passing the turn.
Land for turn will be Cascade Bluffs. Volcanic Island, I will sink this into Cascade Bluffs to make Izzet. I will then tap Soul Ring, making 2. We'll then play Pyretic Ritual and make 3 red, 1 colorless floating, and then I will use the blue as well, and I'm going to cast Gandalf the Grey. So if you're new to Gandalf the Grey, what it says is whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, choose one that hasn't been chosen. You may tap or untap target permanent. Gandalf the Grey deals 3 damage to each opponent. Copy instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. Put Gandalf on top of its owner's library. Lots of different things. If that is groovy, pass the turn.
Untap, upkeep, roll for crypt, odds damage, rolling a 6, no damage. Draw for turn. Am I not allowed to count?
I don't like when you're counting. When you're counting, it means scary.
Yeah, do you know what more means scary? Putting this NOS on stack. You may draw.
I pass on Adnos.
I sadly pass on our Adnos too.
Yep, same.
Ooh, let's start flipping. Cabal Ritual. Kozilek. Landward Elves. Gas Cradle. Dismember. Boseiju. Chord of Calling. Undergrowth Stadium. Deep Water Pathway. Whirly Tutor. Reign of Filth. Allosaurus Shepherd.
You die of a Titan now, right?
Forbidden Orchard. Okay. Mystery Forest. Windswept Heath. Okay.
See, you're safe. Keep going.
Jewel Lotus. Okay, we got there. I'm happy to stay here. Let's continue. I will play Gas Cradle, land for turn. I will cast a Jewel Lotus, not paying for wrist. I will tap Gas Cradle for 3, crack Jewel Lotus for 3 black, use 3 black, 2 green, 1 green floating, cast Gitrog. You may drop. Land for turn will be this Undergrowth Stadium, second land for turn. I will tap it to cast a Reign of Filth. I will... Question is if I'm short on mana anyways.
Don't you just discard
I'll just draw through my deck a bit.
Yeah, sacrifice your lands and draw discard every land you have in your hand.
Yeah. So these lands can be sacrificed for black mana. I'll just keep them apart if I happen to get more into play. I will discard this Windswept Teeth to Putrid Imp. I would like to draw a card to Gitrog. Discarding this Ursa Saga. So with Putrid Imp and Gitrog, I can discard all the land cards I have in my hand to draw into more cards and discard the lands I draw from that along the way. And hopefully this way we can find any way to transition that into even more mana. So I'll discard this Ursa Saga to draw another card. I'll discard this Forbidden Orchard to draw a card. And here we have a good card. I'll discard this Life from the Loam. So here I will discard this Darkshore Pathway, which will generate a draw trigger from Gitrog. Instead of drawing, I will replace draw with Dredge from Life from the Loam. So I will instead mill 3 cards and put Life from the Loam in my hand. I will be milling Fyndhorn Elves, Ulamog, and Boril Druid. So these go into my graveyard, and I have a Ulamog shuffle trigger on the stack. I'll respond to the Ulamog shuffle trigger, because I'm cringe, by discarding Life from the Loam and then discarding Mr. Rainforest to Dredge again. I'll get this back, and I will be milling a City of Traitors, a Snowcovered Swamp, and a Sylvan Safe Cube. Gitrog says 1 or more, so I will have 1 draw trigger, which I will respond to by discarding this Life from the Loam. I will be replacing that draw trigger with Dredge on Life from the Loam. I will be milling a Abrupt Decay, a Lake of the Dead, and a Grim Monolith. I will have a draw trigger, which I will discard Life from the Loam and replace. I will be milling land, Endurance, land. I will keep repeating this process with Life from the Loam as long as I hit lands. So mill Bazaar of Baghdad, Grist, Imp Seal, that's a land, so I mill again. Oblivion Crown, Sol Ring, Summoner's Pact. Okay, so we're back to the Ulamog trigger. I'll be discarding the Life from the Loam, and then discarding this... Oh, I'm out of lands. I will sacrifice this forest because I'm out of lands I want to discard. So, draw trigger, I'll Dredge, milling, Cavern of Souls, Veil of Summer, Ancient Tomb. A draw trigger, I will replace that with Dredge, Murder Catacombs, Bayou, Orcish Bowmasters. A draw trigger, replace with Dredge, Survival, Mox Diamond, Gemstone, draw trigger, replace with Dredge, Necro, Wild Growth, Elvish Spirit Guide. No draw trigger, I will sacrifice this Llanowar Wastes for a black, discard Life from the Loam in response to draw trigger to Dredge, milling Diabolic Intent, Invasion of Ikoria, Tree Speaker. I will sacrifice this land. Sacrifice the land, discard Life from the Loam in response. I will Dredge, milling land, 1 trigger, Dredge, Tin Pact, Calling the Weak, Birds. I will sacrifice Sky's Cradle and discard Life from the... That's the finale. And discard the Life from the Loam in response to draw trigger. I'll Dredge, Entomb, land. I'll Dredge, Oof, land, Mana Vault. I will Dredge, land, Chains, that's land, so I'll Dredge, 100 resources, Darkwit, Green Sun Zenith. Okay, so we're very close to fizzling. I've sacrificed 4 lands. I should have 4 black. So these hits have been really bad. Not gonna lie. I probably should have waited and kept Life from the Loam mana.
We're falling asleep here.
Sorry. So I will discard Life from the Loam. I will then use my green floating to channel Boseiju to destroy the Heuristic Study.
Go find a land. All right, that channel resolves. I'll go find a land.
Okay, you find a land. I will Dredge Life from the Loam. And here we can fizzle real hard.
Is this your last card in light land you can sack and discard here?
1. Oh no. 2. Okay.
No.
Okay. 3.
Okay, you can keep...
I will Dredge again. I have 14 cards left in the library, and I haven't hit either Dakmor or the Golgari Grave Troll. So this, I would say this is unreasonably out of luck. I will mill 3. 1, 2.
Fizzle! Ah! We got him! Or he got himself.
I got myself. I have 11 cards left in graveyard, and 2 of them are really good hits.
All the Gitrog players just crying right now.
Before Ulamog trigger resolves, I will cast a Cabal Ritual while my graveyard isn't empty. So now I have 7 black mana, which doesn't really help me. To dismember the Bloom Tender. Bloom Tender goes to Doth Exile, and I pass the turn! So before cleanup, because I kind of want to have Life from the Loam in my graveyard, don't have any use for the Kostelek in my hand. So I will be discarding Kostelek before going to cleanup, so it shuffles away. And then I'll go to cleanup and discard this Life from the Loam, this Whirly Tutor, and this Chord of Calling. Go ahead, Mons.
Alright, I guess I can wake up and untap. Play an Ancient Tomb. So I'm gonna tap my commander Jhoira, put 2 counters on her, and then put a 2 CMC artifact from my hand into play. I will put Ichor Wellspring into play and draw a card. Then I'm gonna cast this blue spell to... It's doing things, but basically it's untap a creature and then draw a card. So I'll untap my commander and I will draw a card. I'm really glad we don't have a Heuristic Study in play. Thank you, Pontus. Then I'm going to tap Jhoira, put 2 more counters on her, and put... This is Machine God's Effigy, so it's a 4-mana artifact. You may have this thing enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield except it's an artifact and can tap for blue. So it can become a creature that can also tap for mana. It's very similar to like a other copy target creature effect, but a little bit different, a little bit expensive too. I would like a Daffy Voidwalker. I want this to be a Daffy Voidwalker. Then I'm gonna tap 3 mana and cast this Mirian Spy. It's a creature that will trigger when I cast an artifact spell to untap a creature. And from this point, pass the turn.
I don't know if I wanted to stay asleep. I'm forced to wake up now because my Bloom Tender is gone. Let's see what I can do. I draw a card, play Gemstone Caverns, lose 1 life, kill him. And then I pass the turn.
Draw a card. We will do Training Center for turn. It loves big brain spells. So what I think we're going to try to do is we need to get rid of this opposition agent, which is very annoying on my own turn. We could cast Capsize, then we could untap Soul Ring, then we could Muddle and Mixture, which would still give us the mana. I think we actually, maybe what we need to do is actually untap, because we'd get 1 extra mana. We could do Pyretic Ritual as well. I can mutate this onto Gandalf for 2. Volcanic Island and Cascade Bluffs. We will make 2 blue. I will then tap Soul Ring. I've made 2 colorless. I'm going to main phase Capsize. I'm going to Capsize targeting opposition agent.
No response. Wait! Oh! Wow. There was an op agent play when you searched your library for a land.
All right, folks. So one thing we noticed is with Pontus casting Beseju, it destroyed Heuristic Study, and then I fetched up a Steam Vents. We realized that wasn't possible because of opposition agent. And because Beseju says may, we didn't do it anyways, and it didn't affect the outcome of the game. So as a result, we just walked it back. So Steam Vents is not in play during my turn. So we have a Gandalf the Grey trigger before Capsize resolves. I will choose to untap one of my permanents, and then Capsize after that will resolve. Opposition agent goes back to hand. Okay, I'm going to go to combat. I'll come at you, Mons, with Gandalf the Grey.
I take him.
I have 2 mana up, 9 cards in hand. Let me go ahead and discard, which is a bit sad. I'm going to do Display of Power and Wooded Foothills. And I pass the turn after that.
Untap with 2 triggers. I will roll for crypts. I roll a 3, so I will take 3 damage. Then Gitrog will trigger. I have no land to sacrifice, so Gitrog will sacrifice itself. Then we go to draw. I will not be replacing my draw with the Life from the Loam, since there's a Dath in play on my opponent's side of the board. So I will just draw and be very happy. That's unexpected. Land for turn. Command Tower. Tap Death Shaman to exile the Floodstrand in your graveyard rhetoric. I will sacrifice Dathi so that I may play Bloom Tender this turn. I will use the green I floated off the Death Shaman, and I will cast this Culling Ritual.
Yeah, I pass.
Culling Ritual resolves. I will start by casting the Bloom Tender from exile, and then we go to Thonk phase. Gitrog costs 7, so we go down to 1. Casting my commander, the Gitrog monster. Back again. Call a friend. I think that's how it goes, right? Then I will use my last green floating to cast this Llanowar Elf.
I thought you were dead. I liked you better when you were not flipping lands. I'm gonna untap. I can search though. Flooded Strand. Crack that. Recast commander and casting a Goblin Welder with my City of Brass and pass the turn.
Wouldn't have thought that it would come to my turn again, but well, here we are. Untapping and drawing a card. I would like to... attacking Rhetoric.
Sure, no effects. Exile the top. That'll be Nehru Meha.
Not helping, but sure. Not helping you either, so it's fine. And then, going to end of turn, Ragavan back. 3 cards in hand, one of them is Ragavan, and 1 token, 1 Gemstone Caverns. Passing the turn.
End of your turn, Henning. I am going to tap the Volcanic Island for blue. I'm going to cast Mystical Tutor. Mystical Tutor resolves. I got to reveal it anyways, so this will be Jessica's Will. Put it on top of my library and take my turn. All right, untap Upkeep. Drew the card that you all knew was there. We will do the Mana Confluence. 2 red, and then 1 more. I'm going to cast Jessica's Will and trigger Gandalf the Grey. I will copy Jessica's Will. So I will put the first or the copy onto the stack, once again targeting Pontus. Yes, I made 6 red. I'm going to exile the top 3. Well, we've got Mystic Remora, Mox Opal, and Riptide Laboratory. 3 red in the pool. And then I will cast Reiterate, targeting Jessica's Will. What I can do is with Jessica's Will and Reiterate, every time I make another copy, I can use the buyback, continue playing Reiterate and Jessica's Will together. And what that allows me to do is to exile, so I can exile my entire library. And then with the mana, assuming I can get like rocks out and things like that, I can play my entire library and hopefully find a win that way.
I'm going to respond by, not without paying any mana for it, cast a deflecting swat on Reiterate, trying to change the target to target something different, like deflecting. It's going to stop it at least.
Not sure what Henning has. I'm a little nervous about that, but I'm going to cast Offer You Can't Refuse on Deflecting Swat.
I can't refuse that offer.
I played Jessica's Will. I copied it. If we just do 3 damage to each opponent, and then I'll put this on top of my library.
But I would like to intervene at this point. I would sacrifice a Mitra token for 1 blue, and I would like to play a Swan Song. Targeting... What was it, an offer that you can...
You should target the original Jessica's Will here, I think. Because if you counterspell the original, Reiterate will also fizzle. If he counters Offer, he still gets the original Jessica's Will. If we counterspell the Jessica's Will, the original Jessica's Will disappear.
Okay, then I'm playing Swan Song, targeting the original Jessica's Will.
Okay, no response. All right, Gandalf once again thwarted. The final outcome is I get a Swan. Yay, me! I'll play this Mox Opal. I cannot play a land for turn because I missed that land drop. So this Mystic Remora will sadly go to exile. I've been totally thwarted. The rocks have crumbled. Gandalf has basically fallen into the pits. I'll pass turn.
Upkeep Gitrog trigger. Float the black in response. Then Gitrog trigger. I'll sacrifice float the black, and I'll actually use the black immediately to Assassin's Trophy the Mirren Spy.
I have no response to that. It dies, and I would like to... Wait, search. I find a snow-covered island. There we go.
And then Gitrog trigger will happen. I will sacrifice the command tower, and I will replace the draw with the dredge, discarding milling a land, and a land. Wow, that's honestly really great for me. I will draw for turn. Then, in my first main phase, I will tap Loom Thunder for 2 and cast Line from the Loam.
Wow, you're really back in the game, actually.
I will target Bayou, Boseiju, and Command Tower. That resolves. Those go to my hand. I will play land for turn, Command Tower. I will play land for turn, Bayou. Tap a green to cast a Allosaurus Shepherd. So my green spells are uncounterable. Pass my turn.
Draw card. I'm gonna begin by casting a Trinket Mage. I wanna search my library for a CMC 1 spell, artifact. So Rhetoric, I can find this Poetic Spell Bomb that can do 2 damage to anything, but I need your help. You see, Pontus is kind of rebuilding, and honestly, I've actually played Gitrog myself, and I played against it quite a lot. That deck is very resilient and can easily crawl back into the game, and it really looks like he's doing that. So how about team working and killing him? Because I need your Swan to punch him for 2.
I got it.
Alright, I'm finding Poetic Spell Bomb to my hand with a spell Trinket Mage. I'm gonna tap my commander, Jhoira, to put this, and she gains 2 counters. And then I will put this artifact into play. A 2 CMC artifact. When Elsewhere Flask enters the battlefield, draw a card. I can sacrifice it to turn all my basic lands into something. The big thing here is ETB, draw a card, so we'll do that. Then I will tap this, sacrifice this thing, and return Ichor Wellspring from my graveyard to my hand, to play, to basically start a loop with this thing, so draw a card again. I'm gonna cast a Corridor Monitor on ETB. I can untap a creature. I'm going to untap my... it's actually 2 card draw if I untap this thing. So we are going to untap a Goblin Welder. Tap Goblin Welder, sacrifice Ichor Wellspring. When I sacrifice Ichor Wellspring, I can draw a card. And then this comes into play, and I can draw a card from that thing. So I'll draw another card. We have already made a land drop, but here is a Mox Diamond pitching this Mr. Rainforest to the graveyard. And then I'm gonna tap this and cast my Poetic Spell Bomb and pass the turn.
Untap and draw. Tiger. Rhetoric. You made a plan with Mons punching Pontus. You know that I have a Ragavan in my hand. You could block with your bird, and I would like to have the treasure. But then you can't punch Pontus, so we have a struggle over here.
Hey, Henning, what's your channel called? Oops, all salt.
Yeah, oops, so.
You think I'm not salty for you shutting me down?
You're right. Well, haven't thought about that one. So,
no, but it does make sense. But I think in my case, like that's me hedging on you getting something to interact with Pontus.
And Mons is probably winning on his turn if you look at this board.
I don't know if it benefits could be to exile a top card in my library because there's certain cards I need.
Yeah,
but like,
you're probably right. I have another plan, maybe. So I just will pass the turn with 4 mana open.
I'll put the Volcanic Island, sink that into Cascade Bluffs, making 2 red. I'd like to mutate Lord Draxus onto this bird. Trigger Lord Draxus. Yeah, I think we just play to our outs. I'm going to get Jessica's Will for now. Put it into my hand. Punch Pontus in the air. Yeah. Habada.
No.
I will go to combat.
Yes.
No. Here's the thing. You realize Mons knows about my Bosagian hand and wants me to kill you. I guess he wants that as well, but he wants you to kill me.
No, I'm using my Prophetic Spell Bomb too. I'm consuming resources.
Of course you're using your Spell Bomb because you're getting rid of my Bosaju, and here's Rhetoric helping you get rid of me so you can win freely.
Do you see my Goblin Welder? I don't think I care about your Bosaju. What artifact you're gonna destroy that I don't bring back already?
I don't know, but I might be able to help him stop you because you're winning on your turn. Killing me makes it easier for you to win.
I mean, even if you have a Bosaju, I think I win anyway. If I would be winning on my turn, that is.
Yeah, but it will be harder if you don't kill me.
But we have a Pontus turn before that, and on Pontus turn, we've already seen Life from the Loam.
I won't win. I will play Life from the Loam to get lands back, play lands, and pass.
So, you know what I like about this is that I'm holding your life in my hands. So,
yeah.
Yeah, also...
We have a chance to kill Pontus. How can we not take that?
I guess there was no deal made.
It's okay. It's okay if you want to break it.
Well, let's get nuts. I'll pass turn. I'm not going to attack.
I will go to my turn. In response to Gitrog trigger, float a green mana. But that doesn't matter because I will dredge Life from the Loam. Life from the Loam goes to my hand, and I will mill a Dark Ritual, a Landward Wastes, and a Abrupt Decay. I will go to my draw. Tap 2 to cast a Life from the Loam, targeting Landward Wastes, Bayou, and a fetch land. Land for turn will be Bayou. Second land for turn will be Landward Wastes. That fetch land doesn't really look too hot, not gonna lie.
You can go to 2. That's fine.
I could go to 2. You are correct, but I'd like to move to cleanup. I will discard this fetch land, draw trigger Gitrog. I would like to dredge.
He wins, guys.
No, I don't win. I don't have enough gas to win.
I have seen people win in end step this way.
Not with 8 cards in hand, dude, and no setup. So, Gitrog is a weird card that we very much dislike, but it's good for me right now. So, when I discard a card for turn, if it's a land, Gitrog will trigger. Normally, you don't get priority in a cleanup, but since we have a trigger, we have to resolve the trigger, and we then get a second round of priority and a new cleanup. So, since I have cards in hand and I have lands in hand, I can kind of use my cleanup as a discard outlet. So, I will discard the fetch land, and notably, this line will never be deterministic, and it can technically be slow play because you're not actually developing your board. So that's good to keep in mind. But we have no judges looking at us. Jonathan, you don't see anything. So I will dredge Life from the Loam. Milling, Drew Lotus, Thwarted Druid, Shanes. You see? Then, because Life from the Loam is not a land itself, I can't discard it and get a trigger, but I can discard this City of Brass to clean up. I will draw a card. I can discard this Ogron Tomb to clean up. I will draw a card. And then I will discard this Life from the Loam. And that's my cleanup. Not that bad, right? We're fine. Past it.
I will untap and draw a card. I will play this Bloodstained Mire. I will sacrifice this Bloodstained Mire.
Yep. I would like to play Eldar Jamri's Call.
Sure.
As I said before, I wanted to be transparent about what to get. I would suggest an Orcish Bowmaster, so that because it has flash, I can flash it in, and Mons wants to draw cards with his Ica Wellspring shenanigans, and I can ping basically if he tries to combo off. The only problem is that his pyretic bomb, so he can kill the bowmasters. But I would like to challenge that at least, to have it in hand, so Mons knows what he's dealing with, and maybe he's basically stuck.
Okay. Yeah, sure. If that's what you're grabbing, sure.
Orcish bowmasters are in my hand. Please continue fetching.
I'll find a mountain. Normal basic mountain. Okay, Pontus, I'm gonna give you something you can blow up with your Ugin's Nexus. No, with your Boseiju. Here you go. Ugin's Nexus. You can destroy this thing if you want to. Big, powerful artifact. So this is an artifact that prevents people from taking extra turns, but it's giving me an extra turn. Before we're actually sacrificing Ugin's Nexus, we're gonna tap it and Spellbomb to cast Whir of Invention X equals 3.
I will respond. I'll tap 3 mana to cast this Opposition Agent.
I will respond by sacrificing this Pyretic Spellbomb and deal 2 damage to it. Once it has resolved, so it goes to graveyard. Then my Whir of Invention will resolve finding a Scrap Trawler. This is a creature that can basically sit and loop artifacts, so to say. I'm gonna tap my jhoira to put 2 counters on her. Then I'm gonna tap this Goblin Welder to swap positions with this Ugin's Nexus. To be fairly honest, I actually think I like the Pyretic Spellbomb. So I want the Pyretic Spellbomb back. So these are my 2 targets. This means that Ugin's Nexus will trigger and give me a second turn. I will now go to my next turn, untap and draw a card. Now also because of Scrap Trawler, I get this Machine God's Effigy back to my hand because when I sacrificed Ugin's Nexus. I'm gonna tap my commander and put this Gonti's Heart into play. It's a 6 mana cost, which I can just put into play with her, that reads, whenever Gonti's Heart or another artifact enters battlefield under your control, you get 2 energy and I can pay 8 energy and basically exile it and take another turn. So let's try and get more artifacts into play. I'm gonna cast this 1000-year elixir. This will give me 2 more energy. I'm gonna cast this thing and I will make it into a copy. It will come into play as a Goblin Welder. I will tap this Goblin Welder. This is increasing to 6. Sacrifice Corridor Monitor to return Ichor Wellspring from my graveyard to my hand. This is going to increase the Gonti's Heart, and I'm gonna draw a card.
And in Orcish bowmasters, killing at least one of the Goblin Welders. They are rich. Except it has an artifact.
So in response to my draw, and in response to Orcish Bowmaster, I will tap this, and first I sacrifice this thing just because I can. Then I sacrifice this thing. This is going to return... this is going to untap my Goblin Welder, tap Goblin Welder, sacrifice Corridor Monitor, return Ichor Wellspring back to play. This is still before that Orcish Bowmaster is still in the stack, so I will draw a card. Then I have no further response. Orcish Bowmaster can come into play.
Flash, when Orcish Bowmaster enters the battlefield and whenever an opponent draws a card, Orcish Bowmaster deals 1 damage to any target, then amass Orcs 1, and I would like to target the one to the creature Goblin.
In response to that, I'm gonna sacrifice Pyretic Spellbomb and deal 2 damage to Orcish Bowmaster so that it dies. But yeah, my Goblin Welder will die. Good job. And then I will draw 2 more cards. Send this Gonti Heart to exile and take an extra turn after this one.
Before you go to your next turn, I will Boseiju to destroy your artifacts, Welder.
This one is killed. It goes to grave. And
you may search a land, and I will draw a card from Gitrog.
And when it does, I will return Corridor Monitor to my hand because of Scrap Trawler. And I will find a basic mountain from your Boseiju who endures. And then I will untap and... I am going to cast my Imposter Mech, floating a colorless mana. I want it to become a copy of Bloom Tender. So Imposter Mech will become green, which means I have Temur colors. And I can tap it immediately. So I will tap and gain Temur colors. Then I'm gonna tap my commander Jhoira, put 2 counters on her, and put this Mirror Works into play. This is an artifact that will basically allow me to make more copies of things. So we're gonna tap this and crew Imposter Mech, making Imposter Mech into a creature. And then we're gonna cast this thing, my Corridor Monitor. Actually, we're using my mana here. I would now like to target my Imposter Mech, but I would also like to pay 2 mana to make a token out of Imposter Mech from the Mirror Works. So I have 2 untaps, and I will put them both on the Imposter Mech. Untapping it, tapping it for more mana, untapping it, and tapping it for more mana. Now with all the mana I have, I'm gonna cast Transmute Artifact,
In response to you casting that, I will cast Muddle the Mixture. Take a damage from Mana Confluence.
I sadly don't have a response to that. I was very sad. I am... it resolves. You counterspell my Transmute artifact.
Sweet.
And with the free mana, I'm gonna cast Sculpting Steel. And I'm going to make a copy of Scrap Trawler. And I'm gonna make another token of Sculpting Steel with Mirror Works. And make another copy of Scrap Trawler. So I have 2 Scrap Trawlers. 3 Scrap Trawlers in play right now. Then I'm gonna cast my Pyretic Spell Bomb. And why not? Let's make another copy of Pyretic Spell Bomb as well. So I have 2 copies of Pyretic Spell Bomb. I can use one of them. I have 1 mana remaining. And yeah, pass turn.
Well, let's just draw Dockside Extortionist. Well, that's not a Dockside Extortionist. Let's play a Bloodstained Mire and crack it, going down to 32. Getting Badlands, I assume? Yeah. Time for my commander. And for 1 red, I'm playing Ragavan. Passing the turn.
Redrick, I haven't won. You stopped me. Neither me or Pontus has won. You can continue. It's your turn 7.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Sounds good. Okay, I'm going to sink Volcanic Island into Cascade Bluffs, making a 2 red again. I'll tap this for red, cast Jesk as well. I'm just going to do the first mode, actually. I'm going to add 6 to the cease. This is dumb. I hate this game. I hate this game that I'm playing. I'll pay 1. I'll go down to 2 red, cast Gandalf. Yeah, I'll hit you for 2 in the air.
I take
I've
2.
lost the mana. I got nothing. Pass.
Go to my turn. Upkeep, we have a Gitrog trigger. I will respond to Gitrog trigger. I'll tap a green, cast a crop rotation, sacrificing Bayou, trigger Gitrog.
I pass.
The Gitrog trigger on stack. I just draw. Crop rotation will resolve. I will find a Dakmor Salvage. Then we have a Gitrog trigger. I will sacrifice a land, this Dakmor Salvage. Gitrog trigger to draw. I would like to replace that with a dredge, dredging this Dakmor. Milling Sol Ring, Ancient Tomb. Trigger Gitrog, I will draw a card. I would like to move to my draw step. I will draw a card. I would like to move to my main phase. Cast this Mox Diamond. Very cute, very cute. Pitch this Dakmor Salvage. Trigger Gitrog. I would like to dredge it back to my hand. Milling Forest, Kozilek. Draw first. Then I will shuffle my graveyard into my life. I would like to play Land of Return, City of Traitors. Then tap 1, 2, 3, 4. Cast a Finale of Devastation Xyz 2.
Well, this will win if it resolves, but I pass.
Likewise.
Okay, Finale resolves. I will find a Noose Constrictor. Now I have a blocker for the bird. Very important. Then, from here, I can start presenting a loop. I can basically present a loop. It's not actually shortcuttable, but what I will do is I will discard Dakmor to Noose Constrictor, and that will generate a Gitrog draw trigger. I will replace that with Dredge, putting Dakmor back to my hand, and milling 2 cards. This is a land, so I will have a draw trigger. I will be holding priority on that draw trigger, and repeat this to assemble basically infinite draw triggers, so because this way I can't actually fizzle. So once I have enough draw triggers to draw my deck or more, so I will repeat this loop, doing that, milling 2, that's a land, so I have done the trigger. Repeat this infinite draw triggers. I will draw my deck. So once I have infinite draw triggers, I will just discard Kozilek until I don't have any more draw triggers. So I'll have my whole deck in hand. So from here, I will cast a Lotus Petal, and I will have it in play. I will then discard a land, generating a draw trigger, and Kozilek. I'll have draw trigger on stack, but I will shuffle these 2 into my library. Then I will discard Dakmor Salvage, generating a draw trigger of Gitrog, which I will replace with a dredge. So I'll dredge Dakmor Salvage back to my hand, and mill land plus Kozilek. I will order the triggers so that I get a draw trigger on the bottom, and then I shuffle in Kozilek and the land. I'll do this once more, 3 draw triggers. I will then crack Lotus Petal in response to Kozilek shuffle, and then shuffle those 3 into my library. Then I will resolve my 3 draw triggers and put them all in my hand. And this is a loop I can present for infinite mana. And once I have infinite mana, I will just cast all my creatures in my deck and a Finale of Devastation to kill the table. Good game. I won, I think.
I don't know what happened in that game, but good game, everybody, especially Pontus, for prevailing with a frog.
Wanted that first win attempt, but apparently jhoira doesn't win, so I got the second try at life.